Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Lakeland, Florida. And I want y'all to please help me welcome the fighter known as the Black Widow. Her name is Jessica Borga. Joins me
Hi,
right now. What's up, Jessica? How are you, my dear?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Man, thanks for coming on. I haven't interviewed an MMA fighter in a long time. So when Tom gave me the word, our one of our wonderful EPs, he said, "You got to have her on the show." You're on. Let's do it. What got you into fighting? What got you into MMA?
Honestly, I was told by a lot of people that I should. A rough upbringing, and it caused me to fight a lot on the streets and in school. I turned it into something good, so that's what the main. I don't like really bringing up the fact that I was a horrible child, but it actually, became something good, and it
Hmm.
helped me to be able to give back. So.
Yeah, that's great. That is great. Do you get nervous before your fights? Is
No,
there like a routine that you have
I
that you,
honestly I get more excited than I do nervous.
okay?
The only time I actually never used to even get nervous a little bit until I got
Mhm.
into like the top 10 in Bellator, and I felt like I had a lot more on my shoulders, I guess
Yeah,
you could say. But it's nervous. It's natural to be nervous and excited, and I have all those adrenaline and
yeah.
emotions. So you just got to learn how to work with it.
What's been like what's been the toughest challenge for you so far in your fighting career?
Honestly, besides the health issues that I've had in the past, it would probably be being a mother to three, and trying to to be a professional athlete in any sport. It takes a lot of time and a lot of you're giving up a lot of sacrifices and a lot of their practices and their games, and you kind of feel guilty, so you have to be selfish, kind of being a professional athlete. So it comes and goes as guilt.
How old are your children?
Two boys that are 13. Well, one's fixing to be anyway in June, and a little girl that is 8.
Ah, what do they think of their mom being a pro athlete?
Well, two of them are my stepkids, but my son, he's always been my main. He's right there. He's my biggest supporter. But they all love it. They all love it. They don't like to watch it,
Yeah,
not in person anyway. But
right.
my son doesn't mind it as much as the other two.
Have they ever been to one of your fights in person?
Yes. Well, my son has. The step kids have not really been there when I've actually had a big fight.
Mhm.
Usually, it's honestly more traveling. So I haven't really been able to have many in Florida.
Okay. What's the furthest you've traveled for a fight?
My last Bellator fight was I was a co-main event in London. So that was probably
Wow.
the furthest. Yeah.
Wow. You across the pond in the UK. How did
That
that
was
go?
her hometown.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that experience. Tell me about that.
Oh, it's incredible. The only thing that I don't like, nobody really likes to travel and be
Right.
kind of cutting weight and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't have to cut much weight, but it still is like traveling to work is a little different than traveling for leisure.
Mhm.
But it was
Mhm.
definitely an experience. The crowd in London was absolutely incredible. Even though I was not the hometown girl, they still gave me like just a rush, and I loved it. It was amazing. It was one of the best experiences I've had.
The fans in London are really different because they don't get a lot of American events over there. I remember the World League of American Football in 1991, and I was thinking to myself, how are they going to receive American football? Then the London Monarchs trotted out on the field at old Wembley Stadium, and every time they trotted out on the field, everybody went nuts. And then SummerSlam was in London in 1992, 80,000 plus at Wembley Stadium, and they went crazy. Is it different, the fandom in London, as opposed to being here in the States?
Honestly, it was besides I want to say California was the other
Mhm.
one that was real, like the crowd was just incredible. London is different. They are they are all for it.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it. I believe it. JJ poses a question. What was it like fighting during the pandemic, and how did the pandemic change your athletic routine and your family routine?
that was part of the question that you asked earlier about the health issues and everything like that. It wasn't the pandemic pretty much shut everything down for three
Yeah.
years, and it was horrible. You know, us fighters, we don't get paid unless we fight, so we're just sitting around. You know,
Right.
you're not even really
Right.
supposed
Right.
to have more than a certain amount of people in the gym training at the time, and it hurt all of us in a aspect. I think it hurt our training, it hurt our ability to fight. So you know, cage rust is a real thing. So my first fight back, I was completely like, I don't know what. It was not me at all in the cage, and I'm like, what's going on? Little did I know I was having actually health issues during that time too. So like
Yeah.
a month later, I ended up in the hospital, almost died twice, had two surgeries within a week. So it was a lot, but yeah, that the pandemic hurt everything. Pretty much put a pause on everything. And when I came back, I had health issues, and like, not to say that that's what caused it, but
Right.
didn't help.
Well, what kind of health issues did you have post
I actually
pandemic?
I never had a kidney stone before, and I had a 6 millimeter that was obstructed apparently.
Mm,
And it was like, as soon as they got to surgery the next morning for that, they put a stent in, zapped it away, and whatever was like, my kidney was three times its size, I guess.
oh my
Whatever was
gosh.
stuck in the kidney like released like wildfire in my body, and I
Yeah.
became extremely septic. But they didn't know that at the time, which I don't know how they didn't know that at the time. They let me go home, and I come back with like less than 24 hours later with not being able to breathe. Like I was literally like feeling like I was suffocating, and my
Mhm.
right side was hurting instead of my left side this time. So I'm like, what is happening? So
Right.
they do more diagnostics and find out that my gallbladder shut down.
Oh.
Little do they know, they don't understand why. So it was probably being septic.
Mhm.
That did that, as well as caused me to have double pneumonia. So I had
Yeah.
sepsis, double pneumonia. They didn't want to risk going in for surgery right then because of my gallbladder,
Right.
and they said it was like a necessary, it's a necessary evil. So they were like, you could not wake up. There's a possibility you could not wake up. And I almost didn't. They had me on 15 oxygen, and I was still like in and out of consciousness trying to wake up. So
Mhm.
they removed my gallbladder, found out that I had like, my gallbladder was probably working at 25% for the last 3 to 4 years
Oh
from a
goodness.
past trauma. There was scar tissue. I guess they even took like videos and pictures where like, I didn't know why your gallbladder shut down. So I wanted to, show you what it was.
Yeah.
It's crazy sequence of events that happened. So, but here I am. I'm feeling better than ever.
Man, I'm so happy for you and for that. Boy, I can tell you about combination health issues because 2 years ago in June, I had blood clots in both my lungs. My daughter and my wife saved my life because I collapsed in the kitchen,
Oh
and
my god.
I was so disoriented. I didn't know what was going on. My daughter comes flying out of her room and called 911. My wife comes flying in. You know, she took the phone and told them what's going on. Next thing I know, I'm being airlifted from Henderson, North Carolina to Durham, North Carolina for an
Wow.
immediate procedure to get the blood clots out of my lungs because
Wow.
as I found out, had I waited any longer, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
So
That's
two
really
very
scary. I had
two
a
very
friend that just
special
went through that because of COVID too.
yeah, two very special women saved my life. And
That's awesome.
then on top of that, it wasn't 24 hours later, but a month later, I find out I got pancreatic cancer.
Oh my
And
god.
it was stage 3 at the time and wound up going to stage 4. I took oral chemotherapy. That didn't cut it because my brain was out of control.
Oh
And
my
I'm wondering
god.
what's going on and why I couldn't think properly and do
Yeah.
everything the way that was going on. Well, my beautiful wife explained it to me. You know, you were putting poison in your body with the chemotherapy, and it
Mhm.
didn't do anything. It didn't shrink the tumor. And the folks at Duke Cancer Center, and I've told this story, the folks at Duke Cancer Center told Jody, my wife, to prepare me for a casket. And my wife said, "Oh, the hell with that. I'm not having this."
What?
And yeah, if I'm lying, I'm dying. And
I
I'm
believe
right here.
that's crazy. You got me
I'm,
beat like by 20 times.
listen, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here
I'm glad you're here.
on the verge of turning 51 this July. And
So
we came back.
how'd you get rid of it?
Well, that's the best part of the story. My wife said, "I'm not having you in a box. I need you." So we made the tough decision to move from North Carolina to Indiana, and came back, and we found some folks that really have helped us. And I will never forget a doctor by the name of Attila Nakib at IU Med Center in Indianapolis. And he started drawing on a paper towel, of all things, what's going to be removed, how long the surgery is going to take. And I just looked him in the eye, and I'm dead tired. I looked him in the eye and I said, "Can you get this thing?" He looked me right back with a serious face and said, "We will get it."
Wow.
So I'm minus a gallbladder. I'm minus a couple of other parts as well. I was in ICU for 3 days, but 1 year later, here I am, just
Oh,
having
that's
fun,
awesome.
chatting with some of the best guests on both my shows, my pets, including my little dog Lucy, who's running around here right
I
now.
got all three of my dogs here too.
So you understand.
I
You
love animals. Love animals.
Yeah, we got we got three cats, we got a bunch of rabbits. Of course, like I said, my dog Lucy. And when I came home from surgery for my blood clots, and we were still living in North Carolina, yeah, she attached herself right to my hip. I pass out, she passes out next to me.
Oh, dogs are. I mean, just animals in general. They're amazing. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
We got a question from my buddy Ryan in Saratoga, New York. Are there meanings behind your tattoos? He's loving the ink. I'm loving the ink. Are there meanings behind your tattoos? That's from
Yeah,
Ryan McCarthy in Saratoga, New York.
almost every single one of them has a meaning behind it. It's like a collage of pretty much describing me and my love for certain things, my passion for certain things.
Yeah.
There's boxing gloves. There's the octopus that has
Hmm.
it like within a heart. That's like jujitsu for me.
Yeah.
This one has jujitsu belts, which I still haven't gotten my brown or black belt colored in yet. So there's lots. There's lot. There's
Yeah. That's like a your left arm
like
right
a
there.
coloring book.
That's like a full sleeve.
Yeah, trying, man. The time it takes to heal though, I don't know if I'm ever gonna
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah. My wife said, "I want to get a full arm sleeve. Would you support me?" I said, "In a heartbeat."
Yeah.
All right. One of the nicknames I gave her is my Phoenix, because she's risen through
I have a
a lot
phoenix
of
on me
stuff.
too.
There you go.
I do. I
There.
have it on my thigh. That's the
Oh
reason
man.
why, because the trial and tribulations, man, it makes me
Yep.
who I am. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. But it has made me one tough woman.
Yeah. And I think you just answered JJ's question with all the adversity and the awful challenges and the trauma you've dealt with. What's kept you going?
My son more than anything, but MMA is really like if I don't train, I don't have that portal. I need that portal for
Right.
everything. It's my
Right.
therapy. It keeps me centered. It gives me my reason. So that those two things, like my family and MMA, those two are my main reasons.
Same with me. I got my radio shows, my podcasts, and my family. That's what keeps me going. Down to Frisco, Texas with Mike Doherty. What motivates you to continue your journey, and what's your upcoming matches that you're excited about?
I actually am competing this weekend in the Absolute Jiu-Jitsu tournament for some money. So that'll be fun. I just try to compete as much as I can, honestly, even
Yeah.
in between fights. And I should have fight news soon. Can't say anything more, but
Nice.
I'm excited
Very nice.
about it.
Very nice. Very nice.
But
Man.
honestly, what keeps me going is just everything that I went through. That's fuel enough for me.
Hmm.
Uh, just everything is it just fuels me. Like the hate from people, the past, the love from people, everything. I mean, my
Yep.
fans, everything. It fuels
Yep.
me, and it just uses it as gas.
Well, you got a lot of fans here in the chat that have joined us. They dropped their questions. Jessica Borga, MMA fighter extraordinaire, joining me. And I would love to have you on here many, many more times, my dear. Absolutely
Thank
wonderful. Say hi to your family for me. Let them keep you motivated as my wife and my family keeps me motivated. Thank you so much. Very, very
Absolutely.
much appreciated. And I'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for all your questions.
All right. Jessica Borga, the Black Widow, joining us this afternoon.